I'm very bullish on being 30 and not still quite having everything figured out is okay, because you've probably done a lot of things. You've tried a lot of different approaches, maybe different careers, trying to find your lane, move to different cities, right? And the cost of that was perhaps you had many different part-time jobs. Maybe you had a creative sort of endeavor that you wanted to build, but it didn't quite pan out yet. And because of that, you're not in the best financial situations. You have friends, but you didn't make as many meaningful connections as you'd hoped, because I mean, you've tried so many things, right? You were in so many different crowds and you didn't quite find your people yet. Maybe you have 2, 3 close friends and that's it. And yeah, you're not one of those crypto bros or someone trying to sell you a personal brand course, whatever. And they tell you that you should have it all figured out by the age of 30. But let's be real, they probably started making money with their brands maybe around the age of 29 and 5 months or whatever, right? And they use that as fear monger, that you're the guy who is like a loser, who doesn't have it all figured out. But I bet that if you were to take all their money away, you would probably be ahead of them, because you have more life experience. And I think that's what really matters in the end. And eventually, these experiences will serve you. They will not be a detriment of your future. And let's be honest. Yeah, sure, I've procrastinated in the past. Like, sure, I've tried a lot of things, but did I go really all out on them? Or did I pivot because I fell into the trap of other people's opinions, being fed by an algorithm, sending me a blend of mixed emotions from, all these different posts you see out there? Like, you're gonna see a post that's gonna make you angry. You're gonna see a post that is gonna make you feel jealous. Another post that's gonna make you feel like you're missing out. And then you see an ad, and then a new opportunity, a new shiny thing. You click on it, then you buy the goddamn thing because you're easily gullible, because it catched you at a weak point. And then you get motivated for a while, and then you really find out that this course or this avenue of making more money, for example, is not for you. And now you start feeling sorry for yourself. You kind of half-ass it, you try, but you don't really try. And then another shiny opportunity pops up. And that can be a cycle of 4 months, and then, next year you jump back on it. And then you kind of repeat it. Next thing you know, it's January again, and you're kind of like, fuck, am I moving forward? Like, what the hell's going on? Like, why is it so difficult? And yeah, here we are. 30. Still haven't it quite figured out yet. But I think there's a big lesson there. I don't think it's ever too late. Like, as long as you're here, there's always a lesson in everything. Even if you procrastinated, there's always a way to make things right and move things around quickly. Because despite the lessons of, you know, being a procrastinator at best at certain times in your life, or different career paths that really wasn't yours, there's still a lesson in those. And hate him or love him, Tai Lopez says something interesting, that 10 years of failure or procrastination or just not finding your lane, 10 years of that can be overcome by 6 months of pure hard work and alignment on a vision. So once you find that vision, if you never let go of it and you go all out, you'll probably see results sooner than you think. And it's all going to be worth it, because you're going to be in a place of alignment. Like, it didn't come to you too quick. Like, you've built correct character along the way from your 20s of trying different things, having moved to different cities, having met different kinds of people. You've dealt with rejection, whether it's love or business or whatever it is, right? You've matured. You've matured. You've got some life under your belt, and that's what I hope will, resonate with me. I don't want to become one of those guys that once I do have more money than I can deal with, that I'm going to be an asshole, or just be one of those guys that talk with my sunglasses on podcasts, right? I don't want to be that. I want to spread a good message. I want to be more creative. Just sharing my philosophy around masculinity. Because, dude, I was pushed in so many directions. And you can thank the manosphere, as you can call it. I mean, it's pretty much gone mainstream now with the documentary on Netflix with Louis Theroux. And this sucks, because a lot of these dudes on the documentary, I mean, it's just not what masculinity is. I think it's just a bunch of dudes posturing. Like, a real leader, a real man is not going to brag about having threesomes or having a business that is using woman to get money, and then they go out there and shit on women, but they're making money off of them, right? It just doesn't make any sense. And now it's being generalized as toxic masculinity. So every time you talk about masculinity, people associate that term with the bullshit you see on Netflix, or the alpha bros that are the loudest and, get the views, talking shit on women. And I don't think that's a good mindset to have, because it puts you in a reactive state, and that's all you're going to see out there. Your brain is going to scan for promiscuous, emotionally unavailable woman. And yeah, you're never going to get the type of dating life that you want because of that. Yeah, and the reason I say your brain is going to scan for that, think of it this way. If you watch a bunch of videos and you're reactive and you become bitter towards women, well, it's going to form a belief in your mind that, like, women don't have their best interest at heart, and they're devious, and they don't really seek love, and they're not there. They don't care about you, right? If you form a belief about that, and you're always going to sleep with one eye open when you meet a woman, you're always going to have this weird undertone that It's sort of like this power dynamic. That's why sometimes you see a lot of guys that are kind of posturing or kind of act tough or want to seem, they want to be more controlling towards their woman. And I don't think that builds a good dynamic in the long term. And when you're going to go out about your day trying to meet woman, well, that's going to, Sky, that's my dog. That's going to be on the back of your mind always. And she's going to be able to sense that when you talk to her. Even if you don't say it out loud, you'll still have this energy around you. And that's why she's going to eject eventually. Or you might attract only the anxious, avoidant type of woman because they're insecure, right? They're not secure. Trust me, like, woman with a head on your shoulder, on their shoulders, right? Smart woman that are not promiscuous, right? And want a relationship. Want to build a team, not this weird power dynamic, right? Well, they're not going to play your games. They're just going to gently tell you to fuck off. Like, they're not going to, they'll recognize that instantly. Probably they won't even look your way. They won't even acknowledge you, look at you. And that says a lot, right? Like, if you're big into looks maxing and all that stuff, well, you might only attract the girl with the designer clothes, or the girl that is so like superficial, just cares about her own looks and doesn't really have a brain. Kind of like surface level conversations all the time. And I'm not saying you should have like these meaningful conversations every time you talk to a woman and all of that, but at least have someone where you can have like interesting conversations with. Like someone who will perhaps challenge you once in a while when it comes to certain topics. Give you different perspectives. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you can't be right all the fucking time. And that's not being weak. That's just having a conversation with a human being. It's just your morals, your values. That's what you gotta hold close to your heart, right? And when you meet somebody that goes against that, well, that's where you have to instill those boundaries and not concess on them just because she's hot, right? So that's what holding frame is about. It's about having a certain idea of your reality and how you see the world and how you want to lead your life. And if somebody's not on board with that, it's okay. Like, they don't have to agree with it. But if they break those boundaries or your sort of version of reality, like, you don't have to give ultimatums. If you can address it, and if they're not willing to, agree with it or respect it, well, that's up to you to move on, and you should. I digressed here. I just realized. But yes, your beliefs and how you see the world and your attitude towards women and the content you consume is going to reflect your dating life in the real world. So be aware of what you consume, because it's gonna really affect the type of woman you attract and just overall what you see in your day-to-day life, what your brain scans for. So that's, in a nutshell, from 20 to 30 when it comes to dating. Yeah, I've been on both spectrum where I was an absolute like nice guy, pushover, trying to become their friends first, and then hopefully would grow in a relationship, just to find out weeks later that she got a boyfriend or things like that. That was around high school, beginning of university even. Then I've woken up with the red pill and the manosphere and all of that. That was around 2016, 2017. And that's where, a lot of good things happen. Right? Got first girlfriend, got success around women and all of that. But eventually it started to crumble, where I would always get these short-term flings, situationships, or always get ghosted after a few weeks, and scratching my head wondering what happened. And I think that came from just having sort of this alpha persona, playing this game, right? And eventually, good woman could see the lack of congruency in me. And just a lack of congruency just means that my words and my actions, and even my thoughts, they could sense that, right? They didn't match, right? They could tell that in the beginning I was playing this, call it lover boy, alpha persona, right? To create that attraction, but then I never got past that. She can sense that this was a persona, and I was just not acting like a normal fucking human being as the relationship grew, right? I wasn't truly being myself, and that's why they eject normally. They pull away, or they start ghosting. And, that's something I'm still going through. Yeah, like, it's not black or white all the time. Sometimes it's not that. Sometimes they do that because they got their own issues. I mean, we're dealing with humans at the end of the day, right? The fact that she's doing a behavior that you don't want doesn't mean like it's always on you. It's on her as well. They grew up a certain way. Their father was probably a certain way. They've built their own beliefs growing up. And now social media, I mean, whatever she watches now, and expect there's probably content out there like shitting on men hard, like shitting on relationships that they don't need one, that men are doing these power games also, and these content creator these woman content creators will probably do the same as men, and kind of like maybe react to a video of a toxic man's certain behavior, and how, what to watch out for. And now their brain is scanning for that shit. They're not being truly themselves, and it becomes sort of this power dynamic where once they start sensing that you're just being a man, you're just being yourself, perhaps they misplace this for toxic masculinity, and themselves start ejecting while their heart is saying something else, because they're actually attracted to you, but because of what they've been told on social media, you are viewed now as toxic and they eject. So there's a lot of different sides to the coin, but you can't take that personally. It's a numbers game. That's why you got to talk to a lot of people, but still you have to do the work in yourself. You got to know what you want in your life, find your purpose, optimize your physique, right? So that you feel energized every day, you're focused, right? And that will affect your mood a lot. Like your body is, it's not just about building a great physique for attraction. It's about having this willpower to achieve anything you want in life, right? And your mood, your energy will affect your presence, how you carry yourself, your posture, and all of these are signals of, you know, being a leader, and women are attracted to that. So this work is really important. So you got to work on that. Also, you got to be mindful that social media has affected a lot of people's minds, right? So just view the first 3 months of dating someone as a trial, right? You're just uncovering their true nature. Don't fall in love too fast, right? Just enjoy the journey. Don't take anything too personally, too seriously. And don't fear rejection, man. Fear is the biggest killer of everything. Like, if approaching strangers, talking to people scares you, just put a different role onto yourself. Like, tell yourself that your role is you're like a social scientist. You're just gathering data on people's reaction when you talk to them, right? And just view like different conversations as simple data points. If they reject, it's just data. It's just social data. It has nothing to do with you. Like, when you see a beautiful woman, say, look, man, I'm just going to make her day. I'm going to talk to her, see what she's all about. And I bet that after this conversation, she's going to feel much better than before I met her and talked to her. Like, have a role of making people's day. Just bring positivity. You're a leader. People need you. You're a great guy. Talk to people. They deserve it. They deserve to be influenced by you in a positive way. And, you know, if they shit on you, if for whatever reason just saying hi makes them want to insult you, it is just really a reflection of how they're feeling and how they view themselves. It has nothing to do with your identity. It's just with theirs. So yeah, keep that in mind. This was a long-winded video, but I think it's needed in a world where we're just constantly watching social media, constantly plugged into distractions about what a man should be, the red pill, the black pill. But dude, it's all about having calm, collected composure, knowing yourself, knowing your purpose, and just having this inner energy that, you know, you're a leader and people need to hear your story. People need to meet you because you're a great guy, and there's nothing wrong spreading positivity. It's not some beta type of bullshit. It's just it's the rules of reality. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. I gotta shut this one off, but stay tuned, guys. Next one coming soon.